Courtney Pilchman and former FBI profiler Candace DeLong. All right, let's first talk about this business about the pastor. All right, Nicole, now, Joel Brodsky first made the suggestion on this program. Clearly it came from Drew Peterson making these comments about the way he dressed, etc., about the way she dressed when she went to see him. I mean, this is not smart for them, for him, for Joel Brodsky to be talking about some possible affair with the pastor now that he's making comments that they don't like.
Not at all. I mean, the reality is he's not indicted. He's not charged with anything at this juncture, and he's in the best position that he could possibly be to be quiet. The more he says, the more potential information he puts out into the community, the less the chance that he gets due process in this case.
But Courtney,
it's a terrible mistake.
But that's the legal answer, and I get that as a legal matter, you don't want to talk. But the problem is, Courtney, he already has spoken, and he's got a terrible, I think he's absolutely right about the way the public and the media and everyone else views him. They view him terribly. So what, he's trying to go out there and rehabilitate to some degree.
You know, Dan, the way he can rehabilitate is try to go out and find Stacey, and he's not done that. The way he's trying to rehabilitate is to bleed money from the American people for his, you know, supposed defense. Yeah. He has spent more time and energy building a website to get money for a defense than he has spent looking for Stacey. You know, there's no way to rehabilitate with that kind of conduct.
Candace, I'm going to twist this question on you, all right? I'm not going to ask you about Drew's psychology. I'm going to ask you, what's the psychology of people who are donating to the Drew Peterson Defense Fund this holiday season?
That's a good one. Well, there's always a group of people out there that believe that people like us, pundits and people in law enforcement and defense attorneys and prosecutors and not particularly defense attorneys, but cops and whatnot, and people that do what we do, are that we conspire to frame people. And those will be the people, those believers will be the ones that will send $10 here or $20 there. Yeah, and look, let's remember all the Scott Peterson lovers who still send him letters, etc. All right. I want to play this for you because this is important. This is one of the things he told me last night was about his ex-fiance who was on this program, Kyle Peary. I want to let you listen to what she said, and then I'm going to read you how he responded to it. Here she is.
He was very controlling, didn't want me to go out with my friends. After I had called off the engagement, about a week later I had gone to his house to get some things that I had left. That resulted in a argument on his part, calling me names, saying things. He pushed me over a cocktail table and pinned me to the ground, sort of like a police hold is what I would call it.
All right, now here's what he said about her. That fiance's great. She's something else. We went out, we were engaged, and as the relationship continued, I found out she was seeing someone behind my back. He went on to say other things that he said she was doing. I broke up with her. She was a kid and she was a brat, so I broke up with her, and now she's running an anti-women's group. Nicole, this guy is so angry at all of his exes. I mean, you talk to him about Stacey. He says he's still in love with her, but he still talks about, you know, negative things about her, about how she's out, you know, with other guys and etc. The third wife, problems with her. This one, major. I mean, you know, this guy is obviously, in his own mind, just making really bad choices with women.
Absolutely. He has, every time he makes a comment, he becomes less and less sympathetic. And this causes a great deal of damage to the potential defense in his case, because ultimately, if his case does go to the grand jury and he has to testify, how is he going to deal with all of these excuses? You cannot have a logical excuse for every single thing that happens in your life. And he seems to want to propose that he does. It's really pretty ridiculous. Unfortunately, it's going to make his defense very difficult.
But Courtney, do you think it's going to happen? I mean, look, a lot of people are asking me, do you think he's going to get charged? And the answer that I've been giving is I think he's going to get charged in connection with his third wife. We're expecting autopsy results to come out at any day now. They're formalizing the process, etc. I think he's got more at stake with regard to his third wife right now until and unless they find Stacey's body.
Dan, I agree. I think what's going to happen is they're going to go after him for Kathleen Savio's death. And in the meantime, they're going to continue their investigation into where Stacey may or may not be. And Kathleen Savio's case may take 6 months, a year, 2 years. In the meantime, they're just going to keep building a case. And in 2 years' worth of time, you're not going to have bank records from Stacy. You're not going to have phone records from Stacy. You're not going to have any kind of contact with Stacy and her children and or her family, which is going to further the prosecution's case against him. And when you build a pattern of behavior, they're going to be able to use what they've learned in this case, whether it's from Drew Peterson himself or these women that he's dated in the case against Stacy Peterson, to talk about maybe a domestic violence kind of a situation, a stalking situation, and they're going to build a circumstantial case, and I think that they'll ultimately get him on both cases.
All right, here, this is what Drew Peterson, there's been this allegation that the sister made about firing a gun in the house. It doesn't sound like Drew Peterson is denying it. Here's what he's saying about it. He's saying it was an accidental discharge in my home by Stacy. She had a fascination with guns. I bought her a Glock for Valentine's Day because nothing says I love you like a Glock. That was our joke. You know, apart from the whole joking aspect of it, Candace, it seems that, you know, again, it's Stacy's fault, right? I mean, it's...
Right. He talks with tremendous irreverence and disdain for all these women that used to be in his life, including the current missing wife, who can't speak up for herself, and now he's implying that she had an affair with the pastor. And then the ex-wife, who is dead, he says these horrible things about them, and they can't speak up for themselves. Yeah. The gun, when I was with the FBI, any accidental discharge anywhere in your car or your home had to be reported to your employer. I'm guessing the Bolingbrook Police Department is the same way. Was that accidental discharge reported? And if not, why not?
All right. I will also tell you that he also told me his retirement sucked, but we knew he'd been saying that already. Nicole DeBoard, Courtney Pilchman, Candace DeLong, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thanks.